Now, I also, and it's amazing when you hear stories about how friendly they are, and they are. I was in Derry, which is in Northern Ireland, and I was trying to get back to Dublin. And it was August 12th, it was Parade Day, which is chaotic. Protestants are celebrating the victory in 1609 of William of Orange. And I had a hell of a time getting out, and I was trying to get to Portadown, and I figured I could catch a train there to get back to Dublin. But because of the crowds and the chaos and all that, I missed it. So there I am hitchhiking on the road. It's getting dark. And this guy, Jerry Lawler, picked me up and took me back to his place. He said, "You won't get a room tonight." It was the Royal Dublin Horse Show. So he put me up. Now, he worked for the Dublin Corporation, which is kind of like working for the county or for the state. And he took me to his office, and I met the girl that was there, Lorna Valentine. But he was a big motorcycle enthusiast, and he took me up to Belfast to see the Ulster Grand Prix and got us passes, and we're right out on the street. It was the last year it was held, because the next year, Bloody Sunday occurred when the British shot the marchers, and never happened again. So I don't think they ever revived it. This is Moore Street in Dublin, which is an open, and if you get to Dublin, you should try to see this. Grafton Street, which is a big sale. This is back in Mayo. This is the town of Crossmolina, which a lot of people around here are familiar with. Now, going back last October, the whole thing is cleaned up. They put in a river walk, all that, and really, sculpture, public art is really big around Ireland. They put money into it. This is Lough Conn. I caught Connor reminiscing there, and I had a poem thinking about my grandmother and people who came back in that era. They came into a place where no Irish need apply and all that stuff. So I wrote this poem. I rode my bicycle, it's called At Lough Conn. I rode my bicycle out to Lough Conn, left it leaning against the fence, and walked to the shore. The day darkened early. Part of me began not far from here in some 19th century year. Nathan stands, her head among the clouds, and remembers all those hopeful crowds who left to live a life in the freedom of another slavery. Two young boys finish swimming and dry their memories. Other than that, nothing moves. The shore is lined with boats, the only color in an early darkened day. Part of me began not far from here. Omnipotent Nathan, how I'd like to stay and ask some questions. Nathan is a mountain that's in County Mayo. It's the biggest mountain there, and you can see it from just about everywhere you go. These are the boats at Lough Conn. People come from all over Europe to fish there. This is the inside of my cousin's house. Connor couldn't wait for what I was telling you about. See, the table is, we just arrived, and they have this food out there. This was an inspiration for another poem. This is the Salmonweir Bridge in Galway. That's the Galway Cathedral. Ayr Square, John Kennedy spoke here to 250,000 people in that square there. Two poets. A bicyclist going through. I wasn't stealing money. I was just putting money. After that walk around Galway, we had to have a drink. I talked about public art. I know it doesn't it doesn't look like much, but if let me show you some others. This represents in 1995 or 93, they celebrated 5,000 years of life in County Mayo, and they gave a lot of grants out. And they built a series of 15 public art pieces around County Mayo. This is one. If I just to hear the definition of it is a riot. Saint Deirdre. This is called Deer. No, I'm sorry. Back the other one was St. Deerla. This one is Battling Forces. A Danish artist built this, symbolizing two different forces: clean-cut, man-made, and the other vast, organic and brutal. A cutting verse versus a throttling force. No one knows which will win or how long the struggle will endure. The trail of the 15 pieces of art is called the Tir Salya, Salt Trail, combining all the atmosphere from the salt wall. Maureen had to see one of her bicycle stands there. Her ship came in. The Children of Lear is another ancient legend, which we don't have time. This bar is in Ballycastle, and it's called Polk's. And inside, you can't see it. I should have taken a picture. They were related to James Polk, the president, and they have a big picture of him on the wall there. But I'm hurrying up here. Hold on, folks. Oh, another place, Mount Falcon, I would recommend. Oh, after the Celtic Tiger of the 90s, they built some beautiful hotels and restaurants. And this is where they wanted to go back to Ellie Bay. This is Ballina, the sister city of Scranton. Connor's paying the parking ticket. Public art again, that won an All-Ireland contest. It's the River Moy that runs through Ballina is famous for its salmon. They have a salmon festival every July. And the artist made that resembling the salmon. Una was my grandmother's name. It's Irish for Winifred. An alley in Ballina. There's no fire like your own fire. And if you do go there, there's a Museum of Irish Rural Life.